Peace, 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 power and soul, and activation or the activated souls. This is the activated AF1. We're hitting you with another live stream. Why mental breakdowns will increase on the planet, and you see it every day. Dealing with the cyberverse and the Ethernet. Give me 1 second. Let me share it to the council. In 1 second. Be real quick. Everything else is adjusted, so. Okay, we are back. The Futurtarians are back to the cyberverse. And we're going to hit you on why you see all these people you see on the internet that's going through mental breakdowns, because when you're dealing with the frequency that's being altered and shifted. Now, when you've been growing up your whole life tapped into a certain frequency, and then switching frequencies, going to religion, going to spirituality, going to consciousness, going through all these other frequencies. So now everything starts to be confusing when there's only one frequency. That's the galactical heartbeat. That's the one frequency, is the galactical heartbeat. Now everything's getting put on the forefront. And the reason why people are having mental breakdowns, and now what you're going to see in the future, you're going to start seeing people just, how people go live, how people go live and they might be in a situation, 9 times out of 10, it's like some baby mama, baby daddy stuff. They're going to be going live. Next thing you know, the guy shoots his baby mom and it does itself. Sometimes they even do the children. Yeah, all that stuff is going to start to increase because it's too much. Because when you're dealing with these phones and you're dealing with the cyberverse, these phones are coping mechanisms, but they also can be a mental breakdown mechanism, right? Dealing with people, using this as an example, just because you might be in a relationship or you might be married, and then your spouse is liking pictures. Just because they're liking pictures, it's like our minds are so past that it's just like we just keep moving forward. Everything in this realm dealing with the futurtarians, because we have to be groomed mentally. We have to be groomed mentally to be ready for whatever. So when you're dealing with this realm, people just can't fathom of having caring concern but not giving a fuck. What did you say, AF1? I don't understand it. Have caring and concern and empathy but not giving a fuck. See, that's two different things. Caring and concern means you care about the situation, you're concerned, this and that. But if it goes south, who gives a fuck? You move forward. See, people are so tapped into their emotions, they can't move forward. That's why all these teachers on the internet, like we said before, we always stress this because this is what's going on in this particular day and time, in this on this planet at this particular day and time, dealing with the present. People can't fathom that. I'm gonna give you an example on mental illness, how these people just have mental illness and they really don't realize that they're not. When you're dealing with people that are being groomed for the future, like our minds are getting ready for all that. I'm gonna give you guys an example. When up here in Minneapolis, this was like maybe 2 years ago. It was right before COVID had hit. Before COVID had hit, there was it was all on the news and everything up here. It was a nightclub. It was this chick and this guy. They got to an altercation, I guess. Dude up the firearm. He started discharging the firearm inside the club, and I guess the guy got shot. I think both of them died. And I was talking to somebody, and she was like, "Did you hear about that? Did you hear about them getting shot?" I'm like, "Yeah, I saw that on the news." She's like, "Man, that's messed up." I said, "No, it ain't." "What do you mean that's not messed up?" I said, "It ain't messed up." I said, when you go to the club, you already know you got a lot of options, right? When you go to the club, you notice when you go there, right? You can go to the club, have a good time, go home, go to sleep. You can go to the club, you know, talk to a female or a male, go home with them, have sex with them, have a good time. You can go to a club, get into a fight. You can go to the club, get into a fight, end up getting shot or stabbed or beat up or all of the above. You can go to the club, end up getting drunk again and passing out and have somebody, uh, you know, violate your private space. You can go to the club and just be like, you know what, this ain't for me, man. I'm finna leave, man. I ain't even with this, but I'm finna go back home and just figure out something else. That's the point I was making. Because when you talk to regular people, they always go by the emotions on what stuff's supposed to be like. That's not how it is in life. That's not how it is. That's not reality. That's all the options that can happen to you when you go to the club. So you know the opportunity you are getting shot, and they missed the validation point because it's not about uh feeling sorry for that person. It's just about that's just how it is. That's when you go into that environment, there's multiple things that can happen. So when it happens to you, don't be surprised. Because a lot of people running around here with mental illness. And it's going to get worse because the frequency is being turned up. Everything's getting put on the table, and a lot of people can't. The mass majority of people on this planet can't handle what's about to take place. What's about to take place, they can't handle it. They can't accept it. They like the old world order. Yeah, they like that. They like that. Everybody, what is it now, right? Tax season. Tax season. People starting to go get their taxes back. So now you're going to start seeing problems with that on the internet. Watch, man. You're gonna see it on Facebook. You're gonna see it on TikTok. You're gonna see a situation where somebody filed taxes and they filed the children and wasn't supposed to file the children. Now they feel some type of way. Now they pissed off. All of a sudden somebody gets shot. Just like I was talking to the brothers Reyes about, this is right before Young Dolph got killed. Me and Zarez was talking. It was like 2 weeks, 3 weeks before he got killed. I said, man, people don't. I said, when you dealing with the black race and this hip hop stuff, I said, man, I said, man, why? I said, they don't really move, they don't really get emotional until a rapper gets killed. And then Young Dolph got shot like 2 weeks later. Speaking into existence. Speaking into existence, because if you don't serve a futuristic purpose, then if something happens to you, that's fine, because your reincarnation is going to be worse, man. See, people worried about death. You need to be worried about where you go after. And I'm not talking about religion. You're going to mess around, come back and be a paraplegic, blind and shit, and got to deal with that for a whole nother cycle. Depending on what you do here in this life form at this particular time through this soul state. But yeah, going through the Ethernet, that's why everything's going to be increased. Everything's going to be increased. Watch what AF1 tell you. You're going to start seeing more people going live. You're going to start seeing more people going live with the gun in their hand. You're going to start seeing that. They're going to be walking around the apartment building. There's going to be a carcass just laying next to them. And they're going to be live talking about, I can't do this no more, this and that, because them rays that's beaming down on this planet, man. People, that's why we stress activation, because this has to play out. It has to happen. Evolution is something that when you go talk to your professors and your scholars and all that stuff about evolution, and they'll see that they're going to understand what you're talking about, right? But they can't go past what they learned. They're going to understand what you're talking about, but they can't go past what they learned. They'll understand it, but they won't understand it. And that's what we're moving to, the mental breakdowns that you'll see. Breakdowns. They're not breaking up. They're not mental breakups. They're mental breakdowns. Dealing with your vehicle, dealing with your air conditioning, dealing with your heated water system in your house. When that shit go bad and it cracks and it busts, it's a breakdown. You know what the breakdown really means? It means the lowest form. It's the lowest form of not having no energy that's going to keep moving. That's the lowest form. Mental breakdowns. Yeah, y'all gonna start seeing it more in the future, man, because these rays that's beaming through the atmosphere is just too much for people. That's why we stress activation. We always gonna keep stressing that because, like some teachers say, the God DNA, but we are broke down the junk DNA, moving it to DEA, because once you're activated, that stuff won't resonate to you. It won't bother you. It won't bother you. Just like in Minneapolis just now, y'all seen this on the news. Minneapolis, I'm up here. Why is all these police shootings and all these so-called black people getting shot by the police up in Minneapolis? And that's where I'm at. Because there's too much energy up here. There's too much power up here. Go back to George Floyd. What was the other one? Philando, Dante Wright. Then you got this cat right here, and he was asleep. He was asleep, and they had to did a no knock search. They did a no knock search, came in, and then he startled and grabbed his pistol, and then they just shot him. But he didn't know if it was the police. He didn't know if it was his ops. He didn't know if it was a burglar. But the whole point I'm making is being on point. Being on point and staying on your toes and staying mentally advanced and always looking at the situations into the future. That's why I said we're the Futuritarians. We're the United Futuritarians. We're always looking towards the future. Them situations ain't going to happen to us because it's too much power in here. This stuff already played out. This stuff already played out into the future. It's too much power. It's too much intel beaming down this way. Now, is that a coincidence that all this stuff is happening up in Minneapolis and that's where I'm at? Where'd the riots first start? Minneapolis. Because now the mental breakdowns up here are going to be worse up here. That's why we move a certain way, man. We move like the elites. Because we have to. We have to. When you come down to this planet on a mission and you have to see and you have to scan, you have to, just like the last live we had did, when I said downloading everything, the reason why the Ethernet came out before the portals open, because we have to download all this stuff first. We have to download all this stuff. So when y'all say being awakening, yeah, we the only ones awakened. The true awakened ones. Because now we're uploading. While everybody else is downloading, we uploading. And that's just how it's going to go from here on out. Mental illness. You're going to start seeing a whole bunch of crazy stuff on the Ethernet, man. As soon as, I'm telling you, it's just too much. See, it's not even, people think it's the heat. People think it's the hotness. People are having, I forgot what they call that, but when it gets real hot, people start breaking down and they start passing out. They get dehydrated. No, it's the rays, the radiation, ray D. What's the D? The dimensions, the raw dimensions. They beaming down on this planet, man. Everybody's like, oh, there's a shift taking place. There's a shift, man. You know, yeah, they don't even know what they're talking about because the shift is dealing with the mind, it's dealing with the intel. The intel's going to come down to a selective few to always be one step ahead of whoever it is. It don't matter if you're a teacher or anybody that's at a hierarchy. That's the shift when you're dealing with the age of Aquarius, the 11-11-11. Man, that wine's good. The 11-11-11. You know, the ones, the portals, the ones, the portals. Porting what? Intel. Going back to the topic, though. See, going back to the topic and, let me 1 second. Okay. Yeah, going back to the topic, the mental illness, you're going to see a lot of people, man, on the Ethernet, man. Everything has to be televised when you're dealing with situations like that. Every situation won't be televised, but there's going to be ones that's going to trigger and spark people's mental illness. Especially, like I said before, if you had a 3, 4, 5, and 6 with mental illness, it's going to get worse for you, man. Because people can't accept, people talk about this shit, but they really can't accept it. You know how I know? You know how we know? It's because, for one, there's nobody on the internet talking like us. There's nobody on the Ethernet talking like us. That's how you know. That's how you know people don't accept the shit. Look at all the teachers that's on the internet catering to people's mental breakdowns. They're a catering service. That's all they're gonna keep doing. They're gonna keep doing that. You're gonna start seeing people going live on Facebook, live on Instagram, and they're gonna be in a situation that you're gonna be thinking you was watching a movie. You're gonna be thinking you was watching a movie, man. Like, and you know they're gonna, there's certain things on a live you can't cut out a live. They just gotta let that play out and just edit it. The mental breakdowns will increase, even just dealing with your everyday life, just dealing with people around you. Mental breakdowns. Like I said, I always tell this story because the story was a decent story because I was talking to a guy, went to college for 8 years. And he was trying to talk about politics, this and that. And I'm just sitting here. I had a couple of drinks in me. So I'm like, all right, man, let me go ahead and just body him real quick. By the time I got done with him, he was on mute looking at the TV thinking. College don't mean nothing. There's only certain things you need to be going to college for. We ain't going to tell y'all because y'all ain't over here. That's why there's only certain books you need to be going to be read. There ain't no way all the books you need to read is on one hand. Count them on one hand. You got everybody reading. By the time they die, there's some people that go through 1,000+ books before they die. Meta. Look at Google. We break down Google for you again for you teachers and you fallen angel niggas. Google. The first G is the 6. The 2 zeros, put them together. That's meta. The next G is the 6. The L is the 1s. The last G is the 6. 666. 6 protons, 6 electrons, and 6 neutrons. How you stop that from activating that AF1? The meta symbol. Put them in the meta so they don't become a 1. But y'all don't get it though, man. Y'all still Google, Siri, and Alexa in the books and the Webster Dictionary is y'all's God. It's a sad situation, but somebody had to come back to put everything on the forefront in the age of Aquarius. Why you think the age of Aquarius starts with an A? Thought that was random? The reset, Generation A, Generation Alpha. Ain't worried about nothing because all this stuff already played out into the future. These mental breakdowns going to play out into the future. These people got mental illness. So don't be surprised when you're caught in a situation and you put yourself in that situation. Don't be surprised you're caught in that situation. You want to keep it. See, the thing about so-called African Americans, they want to keep it real so much, but when they get in a situation, then mental illness kicks in. Like I was talking to this one chick and she was telling me a story about this guy got shot and she went over there and he got shot in his head. She went over there and the back of his head just fell in her hand, hair and everything. That's mental trauma for the rest of your life. Now you got to maneuver through society and anything that a movie or anybody that brings up anything that talks about that is going to activate it in your mind. You're going to go back to that situation and then you're going to have a mental breakdown. The Ethernet's out now. See, the Ethernet's out. So there's no more excuses. You go on Ethernet, you can go search and listen to whoever you want to listen to. That is your freedom. You can go listen to whoever you want to listen to. Right? So you could be metafied, or you could be extended, or you could be expendable. Extendable or expendable. It's the same way dealing with hierarchies. When you're dealing with people in hierarchies, it's like when something happens, right? Everybody who's valuable, they come snatch their ass up. Everybody who's valuable, they go from the hierarchies and they go down a little bit, snatch all them people up, and so everything can keep running. That's why I said every teacher that's on the internet that you guys are listening to, that's not over here. They're trying to see. They even got they're even finna have mental breakdowns when they hear these videos. Because everything that they do, they're doing it from the bottom of the barrel. How you going to change something from the bottom? That's why when you're dealing with these teachers and stuff out here and everybody that's on the internet just trying to teach and talk and trying to change this, trying to do schools, trying to build their community up, this and that. I'm like, y'all sound stupid as hell because now the FUTURTARIans is back. So now we just going to make all y'all teachers just look dumb because how you going to change shit from the bottom? That don't even make no goddamn sense. The only thing you can change is your household. Stick to that. Stick to your household because you can't even change your community. That's documented facts. Y'all like to say facts. That's documented. You can't even change your community. Stick to your household. I'm talking to the teachers on the internet. Or just tell them straight up, man, I am Dr. Phil. I just have a different skin color. I'm Dr. Phil, and y'all need to pay me for y'all's mental breakdown so I can help y'all cope with life. Because that's all they are. They ain't trying to move the whole planet forward. You think they is? No, man. The ball has been sitting they fumbled the ball fucking 60, 50 years ago. And it's been sitting on the field and ain't no teacher pick the ball up. So now we picked it up and we just run it through. We ran out the stadium. We ran out the stadium and we hopping in jets and we flying. We gone. Ball's been just sitting in the middle of the field for 7 decades. Nobody picked the ball up. They tried. The teachers from the past, the leaders from the past, it was motivation. Because in reality, now reality's setting in because now we're telling everybody, we're letting you know. You can't fix nothing from the bottom. That don't even make no damn sense. That's just like somebody getting hired. That's like somebody getting hired at a workplace. You just started and you sitting there trying to tell people how to do their shit and how the business should run. And you just started. You at the bottom of the barrel. And you trying to give everybody advice on how the business should run. That's what these teachers are, man. Caterer to mental breakdowns. So all it is a catering service because deep down, man, some of these, it's so funny because I bet you some of these teachers on the internet, they be like, after they mess with y'all's mental illness and y'all's mental breakdowns, and then they get up, as soon as they get off the internet, they be like, man, fucking roll that blunt up. Be like, man, this bitch on next door, this crazy ass bitch next door, man, she still wants some dick. That's how they be talking after they get off the cyberverse, man. This shit funny as hell. Like that one dude, I forgot that African dude. He's always talking about peace, guys, and happiness and wellness, and the number 11.
Ralph Smart.
As soon as the camera go off, people like, bitch, roll me a blunt. Didn't I tell you not to sit on my motherfucking sofa? God damn it, I had to do this guy. You know what? Run to here. There's a list right there. Run to the store and go grab me something to eat. Shit. God damn it, man. I gotta fuck with these zeros and these motherfuckers with mental illness and shit. Bitch, I'm trying to get my subscribers up. You fucking up my zone. That's how these motherfuckers be when the camera be off, man. Oh, this shit is funny as hell. But now the age of Aquarius is here, man. FUTURTARIANS is back, man. This shit funny as hell, man. Because we organic walking cyborgs, man. Mental breakdowns. Watch these live streams, man. You're gonna start seeing people more going live on Instagram, going live on Facebook. You're gonna be like, damn, shit, it might even be your relative. You're gonna be like, damn, oh shit, he's at Popeyes right now. You're gonna hop in your car and try to make it there. It's gonna be too late. There's gonna be 3 dead bodies around that motherfucker. Yeah, this ain't a game, man. The age of Aquarius is not a game. Let's make everybody think. I don't care who you is. You care who you is on the planet. We don't care who you is on the planet. Everybody gonna be thinking around here. Shit, when COVID hit, y'all sat down for them 2 months. That was the first warning shot. Phase 2 coming. See, people don't like to hear that because they back comfortable and stuff, but they want change. Y'all don't want no damn change. Only change y'all want is when you give somebody $100 bill and they give you back $75. It's the only change you want. But anyway, peace, power, and soul. Fire topic. I got the brothers Arrayas on a panel, one of the council members, United FUTURTARIANs. If you want to tap in, brother, go ahead.
Peace, power, soul, and activation, or peace, power, and soul activation to us. Am I coming in loud and clear? Put a 1 in the chat if y'all can hear me loud and clear. Okay, cool. So yes, clear. Okay, great. So wonderful topic by Brother AF1. Again, FUTURTARIANS activation channel every Monday, every Tuesday at 8:30 CST, bringing forth again powerful intelligence to further move things forward here on this planet. So with today's topic being why mental breakdowns will increase on this planet is because like we always said, or how I've mentioned before, that again, energy takes the path of least resistance. So you have all this powerful energy coming down to the planet, and you got people who are seeing it, but they don't want to acknowledge it. And again, all of that trying to run away or hide from the future ultimately is what is that whole rejection slash deflection that they do to further, validate, their whole fantasies, their illusions while being delusional. So all of that is a factor as to why, mental breakdowns will increase on this planet because, again, accepting the future, accepting who you are is the best thing, that they can do as far as, not being over here for one, because the council is the only thing that's shifting things forward over here. So again, we already accepted our roles and what we're going to do to further aid in the evolutionary activational shifts by being activationists and these luminaries that came down here and impacted the planet. Our impact basically leaving craters in the planet. Like if you were to impact or you pierce the planet, so we pierce the planet as these new rays and further have caused a balance, that shift necessary for evolution and no more stagnation. So, and because that forward movement, a lot of people are afraid because they're like, damn, we're not used to this energy. It's something different. Like, how that Benny Siegel song that Kane was talking about, can you feel it? Can you feel it in the air? Yeah, we feel it in the atmosphere because again, there's these increased frequencies. Like I talked about, we talked about in the one podcast on the uh next to the radio show talking about the turning over frequencies because again the turning over frequencies will only happen is only happening by way of again the conduits or again us being activated through solar G channeling the that one focal point being in council channeling higher and higher through council is that focal point. It is that bullseye that again the energy is going to come to because again we're not rejecting, we're not fighting, we're not what you say being mentally dull or again rejecting what's coming down here again like our minds, like I said before, our minds are those exposed like a camera lens or again our solar mind act as the camera lens or that exposure to allow more rays to come in and further revamp and extend us forward. So wonderful topic by brother AF1 again, why again mental breakdowns will increase on this planet because again it's just going to keep happening because again a lot of people are just not going to be a factor. They're not a factor in the future. And again, their minds are not ready. They still have the minds of children. So if we were to come and talk to them, busted up their paradigm, it would cause so much, would you say, so much shockwave within them, or no, so much what you say, shock as far as within them because they don't quite understand that, yeah, shit must move on. So again, whether you are still talking about Pan-Africanism, all of that old shit, that don't matter no more. The future is coming, and again, it's only going to keep making itself present by, again, the increased mental illnesses that are ultimately going to be, unleashed or happen within people, and obviously within your own families. Again, people that's very close to you, they're going to experience or go through these mental breakdowns. Like we're mentally breaking up. We're not being, what you say, subject to this breakdown because we're always thinking ahead. We're always thinking about the curve. We're always thinking about what's next because that's ultimately what matters. Thinking about what's next and thinking above the curve, thinking above the loop, the mental loop process, all of that. We're above and beyond that. We're here overwriting. We overwritten the 3D algorithm and installed the fourth installation of again future intelligence, future activation moving forward. So, brother, why don't you take over?
Wonderful breakup by the brother Zarez. Got the brother Cosmos on the panel, one of the Futurtarians, United Futurtarian Council members. If you want to touch on something, just click your mic and I'll chime you in.
Yes, sir. Peace, power, and soul activation, Futurtarians. Peace, power, and soul. Peace, power, and solar activation. Just want to come and say, having to do with mental breakdown speeding up on this planet. Well, yeah, a lot of people are hard-headed or not, or a lot of people, want to play with their lives pretty much and not considering the full extent of their processors or the processing the way it's supposed to go. Living, because, you're more intelligent than how you acting or how you being. So therefore, if you're not, what brother Zarea say? Basically, if you're not, going with that flow of evolution, you know what I mean? You're not keeping up or being beyond up to date, just like the malfunctions happen with iPhones a lot, you know what I mean? If you don't keep upgrading, updating, you know what I mean, then, your phone could be fucked up. But as well as people have breakdowns because of the loss of direction or they feel like a lost sight of direction, but you're not being directly linked up to something more beyond than the physical or than what you're limiting yourself to, or just this everyday, that phony baloney, fictitious illusion stuff that don't really get shit done, you know what I mean? But, I think it's a good song that equates to, everything that's coming up is that Barrington Levy, Here I Come. That's our energy, and that's the energy that's coming, you know what I mean? So, yeah, yep, that's all I want to touch on, though.
Wonderful breakup by the brother Cosmos. And I just want to touch on something too. When people, people say this a lot. Go on the internet, go through the cyberverse, they say, know your worth. When they say that, they don't even know their worth. It's like, what are you doing? Like, the internet's out now. We back from the future, and you talking about know your worth? Oh, you talking about in the physical realm. Oh, okay, I understand now. You talking about in the physical realm, know your worth. Right? And a lot of women say that. I noticed that a lot of women say, know your worth, know your worth. It's like, how you gonna know your worth? Because even see when women's mental illness, a lot of the so-called black women, African American women, their mental illness, their mental breakdowns is so at a high level is because they don't. Because for one, going back to Kevin Samuels when he had broke down, because they wasn't raised to be a wife. They wasn't. You wasn't raised to be a wife. You've been partying and been raised by your auntie, been raised by your mom, been raised. Some of y'all was raised by y'all's fathers too. Don't get me wrong, but then look at the peers and the environment that you're around. You know, they're dealing with your mental breakdowns. Your father might try to raise you to be a wife, but then when you go out with your peers and you go out with your friends, then you're around them, and 60 to 70% of them don't have a dad or had a consistent, not even a dad, just a consistent male, a consistent man figure that was in their life consistently, wasn't just popping in and out, just consistently. So that plays a factor too on why they say know your worth. Like, what are you worth? What are you worth? Because majority of y'all have mental breakdowns all the time, and you don't even be on your menstrual cycle, and you still have a mental breakdown. You be full of iron and still have a mental breakdown. Have a mental just out of nowhere. And then you look at all the other nations and look at how submissive their women is, this and that. Because that's the thing about I heard a comedian say this, and me and Zarez was cracking up, but. You notice that people don't never say. You notice that people don't be like, "Hey man, you guys want some Canadian food today? You guys want some American food today?" This is the point I'm making, because modern day, when you're dealing with modern day women, they have they have so many mental breakdowns, they don't even know it. They don't even know it. They have mental breakdowns. The reason why I said that is because all the good food comes from the countries where their wives are submissive, right? Arabian food, Italian food, Mexican food. Nobody don't be like, "Hey, you want some Canadian today?" Nobody thinking about no Canadian, man, because man, that woman to mess around, boil you some hot dogs and some noodles. I'm not saying they can't cook. Don't get me wrong, but the whole point I'm making is like, that's why they're evolving in their cooking. This is the age of Aquarius. What you do consistently, you're going to evolve in it. Now, if you evolve on hamburger, if you cooking hamburger helper and fried chicken all the damn time, yeah, that shit's going to be fire. But man, men get sick of that. Men want something next, want something new. Go on Google, find a recipe, master that. Might take you 3 times to cook it, but at least you trying. See, that's the mental breakdowns, man. Be like, shit. Hey, Futuritarians, y'all for some Canadian food, man, when we get to Vegas. Oh my gosh, it's just funny, man, because sometimes you just gotta laugh at this stuff, man, because the mind frame of people, the majority of the people on the planet, is just they so gone.
Mute your mic, brother Cosmo.
They so gone, and that's just what we're moving to, man. Because everybody else, people, when you're dealing with these teachers on the internet that's being a catering service to everybody's mental breakdowns and stuff, like, where they fail at is because we linking up. We linking up for a reason. That's why we're linking up, because we see the future, and it don't look good for regulars. It really don't. It don't. I'm not even trying to use scare tactics, fear factor, or none of that shit. It's just that's why all these distractions is out. Look at all these entertainers catering to mental breakdowns. Entertainers, rappers, all they talking about the same shit. And it's so funny, because once somebody gets some liquor in them, or, they get a little bit of that ooh-wee in them and some liquor, and then you catch yourself shit. Even sometimes, I ain't gonna lie, even sometimes I catch myself like, damn, that's kind of tight. And I snap out of that shit real quick. Like, because then I start scanning him, the singer, the one who's singing the song. I start scanning them, and then I'll be like, and that shit snaps me right out of it. Because going back to, that's why when you're dealing with, I ain't even finna go into that. That's a whole different, I was going to break down something else, but that's a whole different video. We'll say that for another video. But just going in, just being in a trance. They be in a trance, man. They're under a spell. They're under a spell, man. They can't snap out that spell. Because the physical realm got them. That's their God. Their God is the physical realm. They're not tapping into no intel. They don't want to do nothing next to move the planet forward. So what does that make you? It makes you expendable. Shit, it is what it is, man. You're expendable. You serve no futuristic purpose. That's why I use that example, man. Let a motherfucking world tragedy happen, man. Who they gonna come get, and who they gonna let them fend for themselves? See, people don't think that far into the future because everybody's back comfortable. That's why CV was a warning shot. Some people took heed, but they still ain't receiving no intel. They might have took heed and went off grid or something like that, but it's like that ain't why you see when you're dealing with the future, everything in the future is organic cyborgs running the cyborgs. So if you want to go off grid, that's fine. It just lets us know you're not in the future. That's one of the signs to let us know you're not in the future. You want to be, you want to go back to beast mode and just throw your cell phone in the river, go make you an axe, go get you a deer skin coat, and start making kindle your fire, go build you a house with some wood, and just go live in Alaska somewhere. I'm talking to all the self people. People are always talking about self. I'm about self because I don't trust nobody, this and that. You ain't about self because your ass is going to the goddamn convenience store in the morning. You was about self. You be making your own fucking backwoods. You know what I'm saying? You won't even have a cell phone. See, people contradict themselves. Now it's the age of Aquarius. You make everybody look stupid because they're smart, but they're not intelligent. It's two different things. Everybody's like, oh, and it's so funny because a lot of teachers on the internet using the word intellectual, the intel, and, emotional intelligence and all this stuff. Hey, man, key word, the fucked up word that he said was emotional. There's no time for emotions. That's how they kept y'all in the mental for so long because y'all emotional. You're emotional as hell. There's a difference between having care and concern and then being emotional. There's two different things, right? You walking through the city, and you see something, and it's just way out. You like, damn. You just keep walking. Well, we will because we understand what's going on. A lot of people don't understand what's going on. They feel the shift, but they don't really understand what's going on. And then you're going to start hearing more teachers on the internet talking about, yeah, the shift is coming, the shift's taking place, the shift this, the shift that. They don't even know what it's talking about. Everybody think it's on the physical realm. It's not physical. Money means nothing. Money, strength, power's intel. What's more valuable? A whole bunch of cars and a house and a whole bunch of bitches or intel? Don't worry, I'll wait. Exactly. Mental breakdowns, they're going to increase rapidly as these Ra's, the Ra, the R, the A, as these Ra's start beaming down on this planet, man. I'm talking about the rays. I'm not talking about solar flares. I'm talking about rays, shit that you can't see. You can see a solar flare. You can't see rays. That's why I made that video, The Seen and the Unseen. And I'm not talking about religion or spirituality. I'm talking about intel. If you got a certain code in your phone, every phone has a certain number in it. So when somebody calls you, it has the IPN number or the PN or something like that, but it has a number right there. So when they dial your number, that other number kicks in and it goes to that particular cell phone. It's the same thing with the mind. Y'all's not tapped into the frequencies. And that's going to be y'all's fate. Especially dealing with the golden beings, so-called black race, man. This is a warning from the future, man. There is nothing else. There is nothing else, man. People, the ones that start listening to these videos, when you start listening to everybody else, it's just going to start sounding like Charlie Brown's mom in the kitchen. That's exactly how it's going to sound. You're going to be like, man, back in 1968, when man, nobody want to hear that stuff. Well, actually, people do. That's the ones that have mental breakdowns. Because they need a catering service and they need a validation. They need a validation point. Just because, that's the thing. Everybody talking about, when they say, people be gossiping and stuff, that's the same thing as gossiping. It's the same exact thing as gossiping. Oh, brother, did you know back in 325 AD that what was it, Caesar or Man, I'm so tapped out that damn book, that Bible. Um, Gosh, what was that dude's name? Well, anyway, like you know that he took Christianity. Man, nobody. If you still on that level, especially if you've been on the cyberverse searching continuously for over 3 years and you still listening to the same shit, that's a sign that you metafied. That's a sign you metafied, man. You're possibly going to have a mental breakdown unless you're coping with it, unless you're using you smoke it or whatever you do to cope with it. But it's going to happen because the rays are going to increase. As the rays increase, the mental illness will increase. The mental breakdowns will increase if you're not activated. Why do you think that it's called junk DNA? Because there was a strain that could be attached to you. It was like that for a reason because everybody's not worthy. If you want to be a regular and live your regular life, I'm talking to the teachers, majority of the teachers that's on the internet. Because a lot of them are just Dr. Phil. That's all they are. They're a catering service. They're Dr. Phil. That's why I said, man, just tell them the reality of it, man. Just put just next time you teachers go live and you want to, get your super chat and all that stuff and charge $100 an hour or whatever floats your boat, whatever you want to do, just tell them the reality. Just like, man, I'm a different type of Dr. Phil and I'm here to cater to y'all's mental illness. And then when I get off the internet, I don't give a fuck about you. That's the reality. Everybody, man, these fallen motherfuckers, man, they all smooth talkers, man. They pimps. They're conscious pimps. That's what they are. They're conscious pimps, man. They smooth. Man, the way they do that shit, they be smooth as hell, man. Like, I gotta give it to them though, man. Y'all smooth. But now it's the age of Aquarius, man. Now everybody gonna see in the long run. The ones that need to see, that's in the future, they're gonna be looking at y'all for who y'all is, man. A catering service. But Fire Live, it's the United Futurtarian Council seats. Got the brothers Arrayas, the brother Cosmos on the panel. And if one of y'all want to tap in, go ahead. Now tap you in there.
Okay, brother. Yeah, a wonderful breakup, a wonderful topic. Like I've been channeling, like we've been talking about, a lot of these people who will experience these mental breakdowns are ultimately on mental idle mode. Like if you haven't heard that podcast that we put out on the United Futurtarians YouTube channel talking about the whole being put on mental idle mode, that's very, if you haven't heard that, go hear that, because that's ultimately what's taking place. A lot of people are on mental idle mode and they're ultimately going to get burnt out. So with these higher frequencies coming through, ultimately being turned up by way of our solar G is ultimately going to drive, keep on short circuiting their soul and mind, ultimately, short-circuiting their whole system. So ultimately, like I talked about as well, in that whole being put on mental idle mode. Like if you ever play Mario, and you actually leave him on idle mode, what does the board do? The board goes from left to right, where the board will actually cause you to move if you don't move, and ultimately, if you don't move, you end up dying. So again, if you stay stagnant mentally, if you stay stagnant soulfully, then you will, be expended, soulfully, expected to be looped back in this whole mental loop process, or ultimately, again, being erased or further null and void and being purposeful in the future. So again, that's what's happening, taking place. So again, I'm telling you, being put on mental idle mode, all this is taking place for the beneficiary or for us to further move forward and break up out of this place, leave out of this place, break up out of 3D, break up out of the cipher circle, the whole meta, the whole physical meta, the whole organic meta when it comes to the history. Like I talked about, history being the original meta or the AI that ultimately slowed us down. But we've managed to break out of that as once being true power, charging forward. Again, we're breaking or manipulating this 3D algorithm or the fabric of time by way of our solar G, because again, we're not moving on the same time scale, and again, we're moving with power. So we're not just walking, or we're not doing things just to be doing things, or saying things just to be saying things. We're actually pulling in true power and true intelligence to move things forward. So it's true power coming through all three of us, or all five of us as the council, as ones walking ones. So we are on the council, as the sort of activated council, as ones walking ones, going live every Monday, every Tuesday, every Wednesday, every Thursday, and every Saturday, on Podbean, again, as the next nuclear radio show and Futurtarian Activating Channel. So again, brother, AF1's live as well. Futurtarian Activating Channel is on Monday and Tuesday at 8:30 CST. So again, we are the council, the true council, the one only council here the one and only true council. Let it be known, let it be heard for thousands and thousands of miles. But this is where true power is coming from. So, brother, yeah, you can take it over.
Yeah, but just go, right? Now, you know why, like this right here. Um, you got the Super Bowl next weekend. I'm talking about all the conscious teachers that's out here. And guarantee the internet's gonna be quiet. Internet's gonna be quiet on the Super Bowl. I just found out what team was going to the Super Bowl. I knew it was the Bengals. I just found out it was the 49ers today because I don't care about that. Don't care about the Super Bowl and none of that stuff, man. The Super Bowl, what's the bowl? The bowl's a zero. They put all this stuff in y'all's face because y'all zeros. Just that simple, man. Y'all are fucking zeros, man. That's why we're looking for the Avengers. That's it. How many Avengers was in the movie? What, 13 of them, 14 of them? It's like, didn't take a lot to take on Thanos. It didn't take a lot to take on Thanos. But, that's the thing. It's like, um, you'll see, like, even when I forgot, I think it was Halloween. Halloween, the damn Ethernet was quiet. It was quiet on Halloween. I think I did a live Halloween Eve or something like that. And I was just noticing that, because people talk that shit, whatever floats your boat, that's your life. If you want to do that, do this and do that. But it's like if you conscious and you AKA conscious, AKA woke, and you've been doing videos all year, but when these holidays pop up, there ain't no videos. Red flag. Because it's the age of Aquarius, man. Everything's gonna get put on the table. That's why I said, man, you take a camera crew, man. I'm talking about these teachers, man. You follow them around for 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and you ain't gonna see no intel. You know what you're gonna see? Google, Siri, Alexa, and the Webster Dictionary. Google, Siri, Alexa, Webster Dictionary, and books and knowledge. Knowledge ain't shit. That shit old. Knowledge old as hell. Knowledge, information, all that's old. And don't y'all like to say that's facts? Y'all know that's fact. All that shit old. That's like you going to a dealership. You know what I'm saying? You got 20 grand. You go into a dealership and the dealer's trying to sell you this classic car from the 70s in mint condition. Like, man, it's mint. I'm not saying you won't buy it, but if you're looking for a car that's, it's going to be reliable for you for the next, 3, 4, 5 years without anything going wrong with it, you're going to be like, you're going to buy that old car, you're going to buy the new car. But we say on this old school right here, this for 8,000, this is a 1983 Regal. It has the custom made stereo in there. You're going to have to get your stereo put in there. You're going to be looking at this dude like, no, motherfucker, I want a 2021 or 2020. I don't want that old ass car. But then when it comes to knowledge and information, they still want that old ass shit. Peace, power, and soul to the council. It's the activated AF1 Fire Live. Why mental breakdowns will increase on this planet. It's going to increase. It's going to get worse and worse and worse. These live streams are going to get more gorier, and gorier. Because some of this stuff has to be televised, man, because it's time for the shift to take place. So don't be surprised when you on Facebook or you on Instagram and you see your cousin snapping out, barricaded somewhere, snapping the hell out, pistol in the hand, two bodies laying next to him, ready to do himself. Females also. Females too. The frequency and the rays are going to be so high, beat me down here. She done came home from work early, done caught her man in the bed with another woman. And next thing you know, there's 2 dead people in the bed. And then she just can't do time in jail, so she just do herself. All this stuff is going to start increasing, man. There's nothing nobody on this planet can do about it, man, but activation. Activating your your DNA to DEA. Your junk DNA to DEA. That's the only way you're going to be protected. The seen and the unseen. People still living on a physical realm, man, but people always see, that's the thing about spirituality. They forget that they have a soul. You can't kill a soul. How do you think we got back here? You thought we came in a spaceship? You thought we came in a spaceship and just landed here and we came off here? No, our souls are from the future. That makes more logical sense. People looking in the sky, this and that, ain't nothing but highly advanced three-dimensional beings. That's all they are. All the UFOs is highly advanced three-dimensional beings. They serve a purpose too. But when you're dealing with the upper dimensions, they don't use spaceships. That shit don't even make sense. This shit is old as fuck. This shit is almost 10 billion years old. Fuck they gonna use a spaceship for when they can manipulate matter and open up a fucking portal? Or a vortex. Or just come through the Bermuda Triangle when they want to. Yeah, Futurtarians make y'all think, man. Y'all think, man, because you've been taught everything that you heard your whole life. All these teachers that have been talking, they whole life. And it's this the sad part about it. Every teacher that's on the internet right now that's teaching about knowledge and information, when they die, they're going to figure out they wasted their whole fucking life. Because they're going to be like, you heard the Futurtarians, though, and why didn't you tap into that? Be like, oh, that just, they would just sound like they was just making up stuff, and, it really didn't resonate to me, this and that. Why? Because, why? Because they're caterers. They don't give a fuck about you. Motherfuckers with 100,000 subscribers, they know y'all all having mental breakdowns and y'all need a catering service. That's it. See, now that we back from the future, everything's starting to resonate because that's why they don't come over here. Because why would you want to come over here and fuck with the intel when you still on information? You still talking about shit from 1782, 2000 in 2009, 2008, bringing up shit from 1684, bringing up what's that one shit? The Tuskegee program. All the, man, that shit. Now when they hear these videos, it makes them to y'all they look so highly advanced because they know you guys are mentally fucked up. So to y'all, they look like they did spend some deep knowledge, this and that. I heard a teacher was talking about on the internet today on why the black race fell from grace. You know what he said? He blamed everybody else but them. That's how gone these teachers is, man. He was talking about the Arabs, how the Arabs came and took our knowledge and they took our shit. I'm like, you blaming everybody else but the one in the fucking mirror. Yeah, it's the age of Aquarius, man. Futurtarians is back. All you teachers bow the fuck down. Peace, power, and soul to the council. It's the activated AF1. If any of the council members, the United Futurtarian Council members, want to close out, go ahead.
Brother Cosmo, do you have any last remarks?
I do not. This has been a wonderful, powerful live. Peace, power, soul activation.
Okay. So I will ultimately say my last bit. Ultimately, again, check us out every Monday, every Tuesday, every Wednesday, and every Thursday, and every Saturday here on Podbean as Futurtarians Activation Channel and Next Weekly Radio Show as Synchronized Intelligence as Once Walking with Once Walking with Once as True Power. So again, wonderful breakup by Brother AF1 and Brother Cosmo. Our soul contribution to further doing what? Raising the souls and minds of those future ones, the future newborns, and the future 200 rising that will ultimately come into council and again answer that call to 911. So again, 911 equals 11. So again, ones walking with ones, the 11, 11, 11, 11 in its true power state. So next now, again, when it comes to why mental breakdowns will increase on this planet is because again, you can't fight what's inevitable. You can't fight the evolution. So people who keep fighting themselves, they keep fighting again the shedding of necessary egos, and pride. Those all have to be shared to further, again, move past the so-called mental breakdowns. And again, all that's not necessary to further evolve socially and mentally. So again, that's truly the one obstacle that you might say that whole mental loop process. Again, the battling of the egos, the emotions, the pride, all of that. Again, that's not a factor to, again, further moving forward. So peace, power, soul activation to us. You can check us out tomorrow on Brother AF1 back here again at 8:30 CST. Again, that is Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Saturday every on Podbean at 8:30 CST. So peace, power, soul activation. Giving back to you, Brother AF1.
Wonderful breakup by the council. I'm just going to finish off with this. When I was listening to everybody, when I was going through woke stage and conscious stage, I listened to everybody. I pushed everybody I listened to. Then you get to this point of activation and you see how people really are and where this planet is moving to. And now it's just all about intel, mind and soul activation. Just seeing, just going through the cyberverse, just living through this realm and just seeing how people are really not genuine. They're just not. They have a greed. That's why we got the scanning process yesterday on that. We had to have that on us because of what's going on. People not pushing stuff so the planet can actually move forward because they really like the way the planet is. They like the old world order. Peace, power, and soul to the council. It's the activated AF1. You can catch us tomorrow back here on Podbeam, 8:30 Central Time, and also Wednesdays and Thursdays, 8:30 Central Time. Saturday, 8:30 Central Time, and then it's the Super Bowl. I'll probably do a video on the Super Bowl because I ain't gonna be watching that anyway. So you might catch us Sunday, 8:30 Central Time. Also, it's the United Futurtarian Council, and I'm just gonna leave off with this: peace, power, and soul activation.